We work on it, kind of together with administrators, and try to get that solidified. And then once it kind of all comes together, you try to make sure that all the details are put together, and that's when you kind of release it to the public. And we kind of knew what the teams were going to be there for a while, and I actually had shared with our team a little while ago just kind of what to expect. And yeah, I mean, it's exciting. We have 11 games, and we added a new opponent in the conference, which is really fun for the GLIAC to be able to just become a little more fuller slate. And then I think having a bye week in there is also a really good thing. And so yeah, I think got a great opportunity to just come back and prove ourselves against some really good opponents, and then obviously kind of going into GLIAC play there to finish off the rest of the second half of the season after the bye week. It'll be a really good opportunity.
Awesome. So is anything you've heard from like the team about the schedule? Like any matchups they're excited about or anything like that?
Well, I think having to travel to different places sometimes can be exciting for them just to have a different experience. We've got a really long road trip down to Kentucky, so that'll be interesting. But fun for the guys to be able to go on the road together, and we try to make the most of those experiences just to bring guys together and really be able to bond and make it a good team unity outing. I think obviously some of the games in the GLIAC are a little bit more noteworthy, and the one up the road is a little more fun for guys to be able to look forward to. But yeah, I think in general we really talk about making sure that when the schedule comes up, we're not overhyping it. We're not getting too excited about one particular game, one particular opponent. We still want to just maintain a great focus on attacking and approaching each week with great preparation and focus on what we have to do.
Sure. So long road between now and then, but you open up against Duluth, I believe, Minnesota Duluth.
Yep.
Second year in a row playing them. Just kind of beginning of the year, what do you want to see out of the team to open up the year?
Sure. Well, I think, in a football season, and much like a lot of other athletic seasons, you have a whole year that you get to train and prepare, and, it kind of lies dormant a little bit in you until you get around to the next season. And that first one is always really exciting. And so, to be able to see a team that's really just hungry and excited and wanting to go out there and, have fun playing the game, that's really important to us, especially with the way that the results went from last season. I think it's really important to make sure that our team stays motivated and enthusiastic about what we're doing out there. And so to be able to see that with the first game, I think is really what I'm looking forward to.
Cool. And then you mentioned the trip down to Kentucky. First time playing Kentucky Wesleyan. Am I saying that right?
Correct.
Tell me, what are your impressions of them? What do you know about them?
Yeah, at another school that I coached at, I was able to play against their program a couple times. They've been very athletic and very good in the past. Of course, I think it has a new coaching staff, and they're probably much different than probably what I remember them as. But it'll be a tough feat in and of itself just to have to travel, and it'll be a very good Division II opponent, and we get an opportunity to go in there and just prove who we want to be, and do what we're supposed to do, and be able to go on the road and prove that we can play well on the road.
Cool. And then conference matchups, kind of kicking off with Saginaw Valley. Just GLIAC in general, any impressions of what you think the GLIAC's going to be like this year?
Yeah, I think still extremely difficult. I think in general, the GLIAC has a great reputation of being just one of the best conferences in the country, and I think you don't get a week off. And we found that out the hard way, this past year, and knew that every team was going to be really difficult for us, and they were. And obviously we get a chance to go out and play better this year. And I think just for us to be able to take it one game at a time. Of course, you're going to be able to see them on film before you get there, and be able to kind of know their personality and their personnel, and who they are as an identity of a team. So that'll help as you go into those games. And you just anticipate that every matchup is going to be a good, tough battle, and you welcome that because you're playing some of the best competition in the country.
Awesome. And then the game against Tech, Week 8. Is there anything from year one as a head coach that you kind of took away from the rivalry? Anything like new you learned maybe about that matchup?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things is making sure that our players are extremely grounded in how to approach that game. Maybe last year there was a lot of hype with our players just kind of internally and maybe put a little bit too much pressure on themselves about the game. Um, I think you've got to address some of the things that took place during the game. Of course, we've done a really good job to try to address personnel in this, recruiting cycle and everything. And so hopefully a year more mature, a year more developed, and to add some personnel will help. And you got to go into that game with an understanding of, you want to focus on staying true to who you're going to be, and yet that there's a little extra inspiration sprinkled on top of that with a team that is 99 miles away and that hates you just as much as you hate them, and you want to play your best in that game. And so I think players understand that, but it's also a teaching process for 18 to 23-year-old kids to understand that too.
Sure. So the near future, what do the next couple weeks, months look like for you and the team?
Yeah. Right now, we're in exam week, and so graduation is coming up on Saturday, and kids will kind of disperse a little bit here for different summer plans and what they're doing. We'll anticipate having a lot of guys back on campus as we get closer to fall camp, which is the beginning of August. Got a great plan to be able to give them in terms of what they're supposed to be doing all summer long. But, just kind of wrapping up with stuff. Coaches are on the road for spring recruiting. We're starting a whole nother cycle with the class of 25. And so that's kind of fun for the coaches to, embark on a little bit of a new situation recruiting. We just got done with a really good class, and I think we're pretty motivated to, just build it and go on top of that, bring some guys in and identify them for the summer. And we'll go into summer camp mode in June, and July will kind of be a little bit of the calm before the storm. And so it'll be here before we know it. And, that's a really good thing too is, time flies, and before you know it, we'll be looking at Thursday at the end of August and right out here in the Superior Dome and getting ready for game number 1 against Duluth.